Alright guys, we're starting this over. I've already been out here just about set up, and then Ashley calls and the welder showed up for fixing the pan, which I don't think I told anybody about yet. I'll throw a little bit here in this video, but my brand new to me evaporator we went all the way to Vermont got somewhere between point A and point B, and moving it around, one of the fittings for the drain, so the bung that everything threads into, must have got jarred or hit or whatever and cracked the weld, and we put water in it to test fire it and it was leaking. It was a pretty bad day, so I'm recovered from that, thanks to the welder who just come out and did that for me. Mobile welding service, that was a big blessing. So we're up and running, everything went well with that. It's 20 gauge stainless, so that's pretty thin. Anybody that welds knows how thin that is. And he was able to do it. It's not something that's real popular in my area, but this guy was good, and he got her done without burning holes in the pan or anything. So this is a good day, guys. Here we go. We're gonna start with last year's mess. I got some bad advice, and I'll just kind of show it to you guys here and explain while we're looking at it. So, all right, let's go. All right, so this is a single point sling for a AR-15 that I use. It makes it to where I can just bring this right up one hand. It spins, it won't get tangled. It's right here is actually elastic, so it just works pretty sweet. It just flops right down here on my side. And then over here on my tool belt, I got everything I need over here. So that's just making stuff work that I already had. I've seen a lot of people go around the neck, and I tried that, and I don't know, this is completely leaves my whole front open, and it's just more comfortable to me. So do what works for you. So if you have a single point AR-15 sling, highly recommend it. Alright, so welcome to the crap show, guys. Believe it or not, I got this advice from one of the local maple syrup supply companies that I use, and at one time, it probably was a practice, but it works. So it does work, but it's not efficient. So the advice I was given was to put no more than 25 taps per 5/16 lateral. So that's what I did. I now know that you don't strive for 5. That's about what you want. So figure that out, guys. Supposed to have 5, I have 25. So yeah, I got all that investment, all that time into this tubing last year, and it's run to each tree as it is, and I'm having to come out here and completely redo it. So like right here, it just keeps going and going. So live and learn. I'm a first generation maple syrup producer. I'm only as good as the information I'm given, and you would think when you go to a maple syrup supply store that the advice would be good. I even went out to their woods, and their woods is set up the same way. So I mean, does it work? Yes. Does it move sap from tree to tree? Yes. Am I getting the most sap I can get? Not even close. So we're out here going to fix this nightmare and tie it into the new line. So as you guys can see, this isn't something ideal or I would strive for, but it's what I have to work with and how I decided to do this. Instead of doing sap ladders like a lot of people do, and they struggle with freezing and other issues, this is the main thing too. I'm using a sap guzzler. I'm not on high vacuum, so it's different. Sap ladders with the sap guzzlers just don't work that well. So with my particular scenario, and then after talking with Scott Dunn over there in Maine, Dunn Family Maple, go check his page out. I'm pretty sure he's on high vacuum, but he's still tapping below the main line, and he's tapping like 12 to 13 feet, I think, below the main line. So his main line's, you know, way up here, so mine's only about 5.5 feet, and I'm going to be tapping below. So it's gonna say I have a saddle here, and it's gonna come down to the trees. I'm gonna put it as high as I can, so I'm gonna be level or just maybe a foot, no more than 2 foot below the main line. So it's kind of acting like a sap ladder in a sense, but I'm going to be tapping above my lateral is the plan. So lateral below the main, tapping above lateral. So just like this. You can, there's been studies show that you can tap below your lateral, but I don't know if there's been any studies that show tapping below the main, you know. But that's what I'm having to do. So let's get started. This is going to take some time. It's not just like running new line. So looking forward to this. Oh, here comes Dom. I see a white truck driving through the field like a madman. So all right, let's get with it, guys. What a mess. So like right here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'd probably make that, well, this one's farther away, that one's closer to the main, so I'll probably make this one an end tree now. This will be the end of my line, and then I'll go over and I'll cut down there and I'll splice and take it to that main, and then vice versa. So I'm just trying to break this down into 5s, and then that way I'm still able to save as much line, drops, tees, everything as physically possible. So I'm not able on all of these end trees like I'm doing on the new setup. See how this goes all the way around, and it's creating vacuum and potential for leaks all the way around. I'm having to just end hook them right here to save these tees and these spiles, and then someday if there's ever a leak or anything, then I will change them. But on the new ones, I'm putting in a dead end tee right here going around the tree, so there's no vacuum at all around the tree, and putting my tees here to go into the tree. Just less potential for squirrel chews, because that's where you're going to get 90% of your squirrel chews, is wherever it goes around. So I mean, this is all potential leak spot for squirrel chew, but it's the end tree, and for me to save everything that I did last year, it just makes the most sense. So it's just making the executive decision at each tree to do that. And don't pay attention to these lines, how they're run right now. I'm just getting stuff kind of put out, and then as I tap, I'll kind of sit and adjust some of these. Right now I'm just trying to get everything put together. So this line here actually looks good for tap wise. So, and we're almost close enough there. I'm going to be able to stretch that. So this one's going to be an easy one. So last year, this is an original entry. This is how I was doing it. end hook with T, but that gives this whole area around this tree now to be chewed on and create a leak, to where the new one, the T is here and everything that's around the tree is dead. All right, today's quick tip. Try to keep as much of your lateral lines as possible on the south side of the trees. Because obviously your sun comes up and sets. Try to keep as much of your lines on the south side of the tree as you can. So if you got a bigger tree you got to go around, try to plan on going around that big tree on the south side. Here's your quick tip for the day. All right, well, I'm going to show you guys this real quick. So this is a pretty good tree. This is the end tree. What I'm doing this year compared to last year is, if you look, see that barb in there? I'll show you right here too. That is plugged off. So from this point on, all the way around the back of the tree to here, has no vacuum on it. So that helps prevent any leaks at the end of the line. That's a lot of square inches of tubing for squirrels to chew on. So what I'll do here, this is a 2-tapper. I'll put another T here. I'll do 1 tap this side, 1 tap that side. That's what I'm doing this year, guys. Making some progress today. This one's gonna have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this one. So I'm trying to get 5, but you know, you got to think of how much tubing you have and the length of the run and everything, and then how you're going to run the next set of trees. So I've been, like I said at the beginning, I'm going for 3, but almost all of them have had 4 or 5. I have very few in here with just 3. I have one with 2, but that's like 10 feet from the main, so that's just how we're doing it. Well, I'm gonna say that we had the most productive day of the season today. So we're gonna keep going here. We got probably another 45 minutes of light. We're gonna work right up till dark. I think we should be able to do that little short run of 3/4 over there yet tonight. It's gonna be close, but we potentially could have this whole back section done tonight and ran. So oh man, this is something else. Some beautiful weather. I know we're missing some sap right now, but it is what it is. We're gonna get a really big cold snap. I've watched several different weather channels, and I've actually found a guy on YouTube that I've been watching, and he like goes back and shows his predictions from the last storm and how it actually turned out, and he's been pretty darn accurate. So I've been following him and some of his predictions, and I think it's going to get cold again. I think we got some time, so I'm going to take advantage of this warm weather and obviously keep going and try to get everything done, so when it really is time, we'll be ready. Like I said, I do know we're going to miss some sap, but man, it looks like it's going to get cold for about a week and a half, like not above freezing. So I think I really like to tap when the trees are froze too. It just makes a better hole, everything. So all right guys, here we go. We're gonna finish strong. So right here, I'm 6'2", and you can see this runs right out. So I'll be tapping. This is going to be running right level. If not, it's just a little bit above out there. So I got slope to the main line, but I'll be tapping below the lateral on this. Then there's some spots where the main line's over my head, and I'm going to just do the best I can with the lateral lines. All right, well, we got this backside done. I didn't quite get done. I had to do 2 more runs this morning from where we left off yesterday. But what I'm doing is I'm going through running all my laterals to the main, and then obviously I'll come back with my drops and everything and then tap. But the saddles I'm using are H2O saddles, and they have a lot of pieces to them, and I know that sounds like a bad thing, but it's really not. Once these things are on, I really don't see how they can leak, and that's why I went with them. I'm super impressed. But with that said, you need a goddamn toolbox to do just the saddles. So I've went through, and then what I'll do is I'll just start at my first one, and I'll work down, and I will do just saddles only for a day, or however long it takes me to do them all. I'm guessing probably a day. So I've just left all the pigtails off here. I'll come in, I use my mainline tool with the drill the hole. We'll show you guys all that, but it's just going to be so much easier focusing on just the saddles instead of running this lateral, doing this, having to get all the pieces out, do all that. I'm just going to focus on one thing at a time and get efficient at it. So this backside's done. Time to move to the front.